It's time to continue our journey through the Crystal Desert. I know I said Augury Rock was the last mission in the last video. Technically, it is the last mission for Ascension, but Dragon's Lair is kind of considered Crystal Desert. But whatever. Anyways, as I mentioned in the last video, now we are going up to a party size of 8. So the two that I have added to the party for this round are Raza and Norgu. In terms of their skills, they are virtually the same as Gwen. I just switched out the elites for the most part. So Raza gets Panic, because now we're going to run into larger groups, so having that group cast backline shutdown is extremely good. And then Norgu, I gave him 2 enchantment removals just to have a little bit of extra coverage for more varied groups. And then Psychic Instability is also a very powerful shutdown in its own right. Between E-Surge, Panic, and Psychic Instability, you're just crazy. So, we'll go ahead and hop right in. So how the Dragon's Lair works is it is split up into 6 sections. 1 section for each of the core professions. So it's going to go, the order is Monk, Ranger, Mesmer, Necro, Ellie, and then Warrior. Each of these zones is going to have a different environmental effect applied to it. And you're basically going through and killing the dragon boss at the end. So here in the Monk section, we have a permanent -3 health degeneration, which you can see on my bar and all of my heroes. So we're just going to break up to the hill here and just try to run around. There's really no reason for us to fight here. Because everything down there is melee. So we can just run ahead. Although, if these guys are gonna dawdle like this again, I'll fight them. It's not like it takes a long time. But yeah, it is pretty much entirely going to be enchanted and forgotten enemies, almost entirely like Thirsty River. But now we've got 8 characters. So we're gonna be having an even easier time crashing through everything. Yeah, I'll explain each environmental effect as we go. Also, as a side effect here, when you kill the boss, that it'll open the portal to the next area. If you are with anybody, do not step anywhere near that portal until everybody's clear to go. There's no time limit to this mission, unlike Thirsty River. And you want to give people the opportunity to pick up their drops, and in some cases, capture skills. There aren't very many good ones here anymore, but if you're going for your skill hunter, all 6 elite skills are unique to this area, I believe. It's been a while, so I'm not 100% sure on that. They could have been added into core areas afterward. Like I know the exclusive warrior skill in Hell's Precipice, the final mission in Prophecies, is now a core skill. I end up seizing in, I think, Tonikai Temple. But here we go, Facet of Light. I believe this one has Shield of Regeneration. Oh man, I should have mentioned in Thirsty River that the Warrior Elite skill is absolutely cracked out of its mind. If you can't get 7 weapon stance, the elite skill you can capture in Thirsty River is among the best for warriors. Yeah, Shield of Regeneration just provides extra armor and health regen. It's no big deal. But yeah, so killed, portal opens, and as soon as you walk near it, hits a cutscene and skips everyone to the next area. So do not walk in it until everybody gives the okay. But now we are in the Ranger area. So Ranger, you just have slowed movement. It's like 25% slower, 15% slower, something like that. It's really not that big of a deal. Also, as a side note, since I think this is the first time it's come up, you'll notice my mini-map, a lot of it is faded. That's because this is a cave/instance map. So if you open the main map, this mission map button in the bottom left allows you to pull up the whole thing. Anyway, we are gonna make our way this direction. We're just gonna kind of ignore the cliff up ahead. Just continue on through this way. But yeah, the Dragon's Lair is just gonna send us in a loop around here. Glint's gonna be in the middle. Well, it looks like my heroes decide to kill everything up top. They'll do that sometimes. But yeah, in order to capture all the elite skills in here, you're probably going to need to run this mission 5 times at minimum. If you're one of the core professions, you can get away with 5, because you can capture for both your primary and your secondary. So I could capture both the warrior and Ellie ones, for example. But if you're Rit, Assassin, Paragon, Dervish, you are going to have to run this 6 times if you want to get that skill hunter. Or you can rely on elite tomes and send through with other classes or other alts, but there's really not much point to do that unless that alt happens to need that elite. Which is going to be unlikely for any of the ones here. I'll have to double check what they all are again, but I don't remember any of them seeing any use lately. I know Glad's defense was popular in from the warrior one back in the day. That one had some PvP uses, I think. This is the ranger. I believe it has Melandru's resilience. Yeah. Health regen and energy regen for each Condi and Hex on you. I guess there's defensive uses for it, but it's not going to be a standard elite you're using. Alright, so the Mesmer area actually doesn't really have any special effects. I always thought it did something to your enchantments and hexes. The main thing is you're going to see there's some illusionists that'll try to attack you through stuff. If you need to, there's ways to get behind through little passageways. If you look at my compass, I'm going to draw some lines here. So there's one there, and then one all the way around there. There's no reason to really run that route. Instead, we'll just continue our way through. But yeah, fun fact, as much as I do rag on Gladiator's defense, the warrior elite skill, it is the first elite skill I ever captured, so that's something, I guess. Facet of Chaos is over there after you get through this little maze. Again, not much to write home about. I also don't remember its elite either. I want to say it was some like mantra thing. It was some passive effect. It wasn't anything threatening. Yeah, if you want to, you can just attack over. Yeah, I think Mantra of Recovery might be its one. We'll find out. Mantra of Recall. So after 20 seconds, or if it gets stripped, you gain energy. Not really that good. Considering how cracked some of the Mesmer elites are, like Energy Surge, which is in this campaign, Panic, which is also exclusive to this campaign, and then Psychic Instability, among others. The ever-favorite Illusionary Weaponry, you know, the greatest elite skill in the game. There's just too many good Mesmer ones. Alright, Necro area. You have one less energy degeneration while you are in here. This is gonna drive me nuts. I want to confirm that there really wasn't anything in the Facet of Chaos chamber. Because I could have sworn there was. Okay, it doesn't have an environmental effect. Wild Blow. It'll suck. Also, another side note with groups while we're fighting through this section, since again there's not really going to be much, it's just fighting through the same enemies you've always seen. Make sure your entire group is on board with the bonus and knows what the bonus is before you complete this. Poor Ascalonian Warrior, how'd you get out here? But yeah, you gotta make sure everyone knows what the bonus is, because you can, just like with Riverside, you can accidentally end the mission early if you go to the wrong spot. However, unlike Riverside Province, you are forced to go through and do the entire mission before you can go for the bonus. So somebody can just be on their way thinking it's the right move to do and skip out the bonus for everybody. And then you have to do the entire mission again in order to get the bonus. It just takes one person, and I have certainly run into that before. Now, as a kid, I think I might have done that once, too. Or did I? Because it would have only been the first time I finished it, because I wasn't going for bonuses back then. So no, I don't think I did. Yeah, that's right. I don't think I ever completed this. Or I didn't complete this for a while until after I'd beaten the campaign. Because I paid for a Drox run instead. I managed to get far enough for Glad's defense, and then while I was standing there, somebody else started the bonus and we wiped to it. Alright, so that's 4 down. On to Area 5. So this zone, you'll see the effect shortly. Crystal Guardians here, they've got a lot of AoE, so just be careful. Might need to give them their space if there's a lot of them. So this is the gimmick here, is there's going to be small little circles that apply specific elemental spells. So I believe that one is Maelstrom. Okay, you idiots don't stand in it, please. And of course they get body blocked by the Guardians. Yeah, for the most part they're not that big of a deal. So this one up here is Oh, and that one might be Fire... Okay, that one was Firestorm. This one was Maelstrom. Maybe it switches among them. Yeah, it switches around. That one, I think, is Lightning Strike. Yeah, there's going to be small little effects. I'm going to presume there's also an Earth one. Although I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. As long as you just run through, they're really not a threat. See, I'll stand here for a second, see if they go. So there we go. Maelstrom right there, so it's just... Oh, and Chain Lightning. So Chain Lightning was the air one. But yeah, as you can see, it really doesn't do too much as long as you don't stand in it for too long. Well, we just make our way through, and there's the facet in the back. Just like that, we are at the facet of elements. This one's elite. Lightning Surge. Okay, Lightning Surge is probably the best one we've seen so far. I still don't think it's that good, because Thunderclap exists. But it's not bad. Alright, so now we are in the Warrior Zone. You will see its effect at some point. Otherwise, you're fighting mixes of the mobs from previous zones. See how long it goes before we see the effect. There it is. So the warrior one knocks you down for like 3-4 seconds. So what you can do is, if you're worried about it disrupting your group too much, you can wait for the knockdown to happen before you engage a mob. However, these guys, I laugh in the face of them, so it doesn't matter. That one just happened to line up. That was just not even planned, but that's the kind of deal you would do. Is you would wait until you just got knocked and then you'd go engage. That's what I used to do back in the day when my comp wasn't as strong. Alright. Once we get past that group. After the next knockdown, there it is. I'll apply Strength of Honor. So we should be past anything that would rip it. So I've mentioned the Warrior's elite skill before. It's Gladiator's Defense. Oh, I forgot what to look for what the Necro one was. Oh, whatever. You can look on the wiki. So Gladiator's Defense, 75% chance to block. Whenever it blocks, does damage and gains energy, I believe. Gains energy might be another one, but it's not great. For a stance, it's like compared to 7 weapon stance, not as good. There's better blocking stances that aren't elites. But anyways, we go through here, talk to Glint for a little bit, and now if you want to finish the mission, you run through that portal. If you want to do the bonus, you don't pick that up. You don't go through the portal. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to prep a second here. I'm going to put Shelter and Union down now, and Displacement. I'm prepping Spirits, because the second you pick up this Dragon Egg, you can't escape anymore, and Glint now attacks you. And Glint can deal a surprising amount of damage. So that's why I put Shelter up first. But as long as you've got some good shutdowns, especially for Crystal Hibernation, Glint isn't a major threat. Jagged Crystal skin can be nasty, because it reflects physical damage. However, I happen to be using an elemental fiery weapon, so it's less significant for me. But if you are not on that, if I was on, say, my axe, I'd have to be far more careful. But anyways, once you beat Glint, that is the bonus done. Crystal Hibernation's another nasty skill. It gives a lot of health regeneration. So just make sure you take care of all that stuff. Bonus is easy. Walk through the portal, and you're done with the mission. And now we are in Drachner's Forge, in the second to last area of the game, the Southern Shiver Peaks. So, once again, if you're looking to... So, Von Yi here. Quick side note, now that you are out of Dragon's Lair, the second attribute point quest for Prophecies characters is given by them. Very important to do that mission. Specifically, I believe they are also going to send you out to pick up the 3 outposts in the Crystal Desert first. So, Seeker's Passage, Destiny's Gorge, and Hero's Audience. Because once you have completed Augury Rock, you are allowed to change your secondary profession. So you can select any of the other ones here. And if you don't want to do all that nonsense to change your profession, you can just go to the Great Temple of Balthazar, and that'll also have a profession changer. Actually, I'll show that real quickly, since it's a short run to Ice Caves. But yeah, there's a profession changer out here in the back in the Great Temple of Balthazar. They charge you 500 gold to do it. If you don't want to pay the gold, there's quests in those Crystal Desert places that have the Crystal Desert outposts that have them. Alright, we'll have to go back to 6 quickly. We'll head to Drox. Also, side note for Drachner's Forge, if you for some reason have not gone into Kainang yet, this is the first area that comes with max armor, so armor 80. So that's why Drox runs were popular back in the day before factions, because this is where you could get max armor. But Kainang is just easier to get to and is a better option overall, if you ask me. If you like the armor better at Drox, just get to Drox after getting your armor set in Kainang. It's honestly worth it. Okay, so the next mission is Ice Caves of Sorrow. It is just around the bend here, so just right through this little pass, and we're there. Man, Panic's already doing its job. So all of those exclamation point marks you see are somebody being interrupted because of Panic. And that's why that skill can be nuts if you get it in a balled up group. Specifically what it does is it hexes your target and all nearby targets. And then whenever one of them uses a skill, it interrupts everybody else near them. Alright, so Ice Imps, mildly annoying here. It can slow you down quite a bit, but overall they're not bad. Unfortunately, they are not the best items in the game. Those ones are elsewhere. Which might be a place you want to run to if you're being extra careful. If you're a Doom's Covenant character, for example, you might want to think about going to where the other set of ice imps are. Although that run can be dangerous, especially when you reach the ice imp cave. But yeah, the destination we're heading to is right over the bridge. And here we are, the Ice Caves of Sorrow. So with that, we have officially reached the end game of Guild Wars 1 Prophecies missions. Certainly not the end game of the entire game. That's Underworld and Fissure of Woe. But anyways, what I was mentioning before about the potential safe route through Ice Caves of Sorrow, there's specific enemies that you're going to be running into now, the Mersat, and if you do not have this infused effect on your armor, they will shred you. Like, it's not even fair how badly they just crush you. I'm going to see if I have an armor set that's uninfused. Where's this in my chest? There you are. Specifically, what I'm talking about is you'll have minus 30 health degeneration on top of... Yeah, okay, all my armor's infused. I guess I could take off my armor, but we aren't doing that here. So anyway, we're a classy video. But yeah, it's going to be, you have minus 30 health degeneration, you take like 90 damage per second on top of that. There is no amount of healing that's keeping you alive at that point. So, the way to counter it is to have infused armor. To get that infused armor, you have to do the mission after this one. So to do that, you'd have to run out to Iron Mines and Mullidoon here. And that one, you can safely get out to do an infusion run. But if you don't trust that, you can either go through Ice Dome up to Copperhammer Mines, or out through Rancor out to basically Granite Citadels where you're aiming. So either out through Grant's Footprint, or you go through Copperhammer Mines. Either way, you end up here. And you're going into this corner here in Mineral Springs. It's going to be a long run, so if you're doing this, it's going to take ages. But it is the only way to get infused armor without being at risk of encountering any Mersat at all. I would say Iron Mines is a million times safer just doing that mission out of order, because it's pretty easy to duck the Mersat. And when I do the Ice Caves of Sorrow video, I'll also try to discuss how to duck the Mersat here, because it's very possible. But I'm not going to be very careful about it. I am more than happy to deal with them. But anyways, we will continue with that in our next video. Hope these continue to be helpful, and have a good rest of your day. See you in the next one.